Nice shot.
There are moments when the forest says nothing, yet we still hear it. The morning is young. The first light has just touched the dew-soaked leaves. In the fragile stillness of dawn, something stirs, softly, slowly, almost unseen. It's a deer, a creature of quiet grace, yet blessed with senses so sharp that every step we take must be measured. Deer hunting isn't a game of luck. It's not about strength. It's a silent conversation between humans and nature. We don't rush in. We listen. We observe. We wait for that one moment the forest allows us to come closer. Today, we follow the trail of the forest deer, a creature of calm beauty, living quietly yet ever watchful. This hunt is not hurried, not forceful. It is patience, tested by every breeze and every trembling leaf. If you're ready to step into this silent forest, come with us. Subscribe to Famigo Farm so you won't miss the journeys ahead. The road before us is still long. The journey begins with the faintest footprints. In the silence of the forest, even the smallest appearance can change the entire morning. The morning brings us back to the familiar woods. Light spills gently through the canopy. Dew clings to the grass and soft earth. The chill still lingers in the air, seeping into every breath. We move slowly, careful not to break the forest's quiet. Here, it's not humans who decide the rhythm, it's the forest that keeps time. The wind shifts ever so slightly. Without a word, we all freeze. A faint scent of decaying leaves and damp soil drifts along the ground, a sign that our scent may have crossed into the forest's alert boundary. Ahead, in a gap between the trees, the deer appears. It comes without a sound, like part of the morning mist taking form. Lowering its head to graze, its body light. Yet every sense is awake. Its ears turn towards sounds we cannot hear. Its eyes do not look at us, but it knows we are here. Not afraid, just aware. We steady our breath. Fingers rest on the rifle, but we do not lift it. In deer hunting, sometimes waiting is the action. The air around us grows dense. All sounds fade into the background. Only the heartbeat remains slow, deep, steady. Then the deer raises its head. 1 second, just 1 second. A span too brief to measure by any clock, yet more important than the entire journey before it. We slowly raise the rifle. No rush, no disruption. Every movement held within the forest's silence. Wind, light, and breath become one. This is not a moment of victory or defeat, nor is it about proving strength. It is a moment of choice, born from patience, from discipline, and from the respect owed to this land itself. This moment does not merely present an opportunity, it demands that we take responsibility for the decision we are about to make. From a single glance, we understand why deer live the way they do. Deer are quiet creatures, but astonishingly perceptive. They exist in the forest as part of the wind and the shadow of trees. Their ears are always turning, their noses constantly tasting the air. Without looking directly, they can still sense when something shifts around them. Just the crunch of a dry leaf underfoot, or a trace of human scent not yet faded in the air, is enough for them to retreat deep into the woods, swift and silent, as if they were never there. They move along the forest's edge, the border where shadow meets light. It's a zone humans often overlook, but deer never do. At dawn and dusk, they leave their hiding places, seeking soft meadows or the edges of farmlands where the soil is loose and young plants are rising. Within a herd, there is always order. Males travel alone, while females and fawns stay close together. One older deer always keeps watch, not through strength, but through the wisdom of surviving the forest. Sometimes you see only one, but in truth, the whole herd is watching you from within the leaves. That subtlety keeps the forest in balance. They eat grass and tender leaves, helping to control the undergrowth, so the forest doesn't grow too thick, stifling the light beneath. But that balance only lasts while their numbers stay within nature's limits. When the population grows beyond it, the forest begins to suffer. Deer consume saplings before they can grow into canopy trees. The edges of farmlands, where farmers hope for a harvest, are stripped bare within nights. The vegetation weakens, young trees can't recover, and bare soil lies exposed to rain and wind. The forest ages without a next generation. The boundary between nature and humanity grows thinner than ever. At times, herds cross the roads inside reserves as if those roads were never meant for humans. When their numbers exceed the threshold, the consequences are no longer the forest's alone, they become ours. Deer do not intend harm, they are simply following their instincts. But once the balance is broken, nature cannot fix itself. And then, humans must intervene. Not to dominate, not to assert power. Hunting deer is not the end of life. It is how we protect the forest's rebirth. To protect the forest, we must move with the rhythm of the seasons and with the footsteps of the deer themselves. The journey continues, higher up, where seasons change quickly and the forest wears its white cloak. Deer season often begins at the very moment the forest shifts between two worlds. Leaves turn color, the morning air grows colder, and the scent of damp earth sharpens with every breath. This is early autumn, when the forest quietly steps from warmth into cold. There are no bells to mark the change, only small, subtle signs, the kind only those who live with the forest will notice. That shift in season directly affects the behavior of deer. They move more often at dawn and before dusk, following trails worn by generations before them. These are the two moments of the day when they feel safest, to emerge from hiding and feed. The area we monitor lies on the transition zone between forest and grassland. It's where deer most often appear, hidden enough to feel secure, yet open enough to see the world around them. A borderland, where wild woods and farmland meet. We arrive before first light, not to gain an advantage, but to sync ourselves with the forest's own breath before the deer begin to move. Choosing a spot to stand is never about luck. Wind comes first, for it carries the scent of humans, and that scent is always a warning. The terrain defines sight lines. Higher ground opens wide vantage points, while low ground is veiled by leaves and morning mist. And above all, it's about understanding the herd's roots, the paths they follow, season after season, year after year, visible only to those who observe long enough, patiently, and with respect for the forest. We choose our place not for convenience, but for where the forest allows us to be. We don't block their paths. We don't disrupt the rhythm of their survival. Because in deer hunting, what matters most isn't equipment or strength, it's timing. And that moment, once missed, will never return again that morning. When the forest changes its coat, it also changes the way it speaks to us. After many days tracking through the borderland where forest meets grass, the journey takes the group farther north, to higher ground, where the climate turns harsh. Here, autumn passes quickly. Just a few deep, cold nights are enough for snow to cover the earth in a thin, white layer. The deer still follow their familiar trails, but the rhythm of the forest has shifted. The golden woods have turned into silent snow forests. And in the snow, Every movement must be recalculated, because here, sound does not fade. It carries. At departure, the ground still holds the marks of fresh snow. Footprints press deep beneath frosted pines. Each breath turns to white mist in an instant. Silence becomes a rule. Equipment is checked one last time. The scope adjusted, straps tightened, gloves warm enough yet sensitive to touch, jackets chosen to reduce the rustle of fabric when moving. Snow does more than blanket the earth. It keeps the echoes alive. If thin ice cracks, the sound will travel far. Deer sense presence first through sound, long before sight. Communication among the group narrows down to whispers of breath. Wind shifted. Move left. Keep the distance. No explanations needed. Everyone already knows their role. The deeper they go, the thicker the snow becomes. Morning light reflects off the white surface, creating a cold brightness, clear enough to see, yet never certain. A kind of light that easily deceives the eyes. At a narrow opening between two pine ridges, footsteps halt. No rush to search for tracks. No rush to scan the horizon, only to listen. To the forest. In the snow, sound comes before sight. A twig falls. Snow slides softly. A breath drawn longer than usual. A handful of snow is tossed into the air. Tiny flakes drift in one direction. The path shifts with the wind, not to move closer to the herd, but to keep human scent from reaching where they stand. Each step follows the rhythm of breath.
Smoked it, Abram.
Step. Stop. Listen. Another step. Stop. Listen. The snowy forest does not reward the quick. It only opens to those who are patient. The hiding spot is chosen behind a moss-covered pine, its view opening to a narrow shaft of light where the herd's trail crosses the snow. It is not an easy shot, nor a place of advantage. It is the place the forest allows you to stand. At this point, silent preparation matters more than any explanation. The Savage Axis in 30-06 is a practical bolt-action rifle. A solid stock, simple operation, and enough stability for accurate medium. To long-range shots when the shooter applies sound technique. The bolt-action design locks the barrel securely, contributing to accuracy. Paired with a bipod or a steady rest, the rifle becomes a stable platform for a responsible shot. With 30-06 caliber, choosing soft-point bullets is sensible for deer hunting. These rounds have a deformable tip on impact that transfers energy quickly to the target, reducing over-penetration and increasing stopping effectiveness. Before entering the woods, zeroing the scope is mandatory, i.e., adjusting the optic so the point of aim matches the bullet's point of impact at a chosen distance. Recheck zero after any movement to ensure continued accuracy.
Using my grandpa's gun. He just passed away at the beginning of this year.
Combine a stable rifle plus bipod plus appropriate soft point ammo plus quality optics, and you have a toolkit prioritizing precise observation and responsible decision-making. But remember, equipment is only a tool. Everything matters only when the user follows safety, rechecks scope zero, knows what's beyond the target, and is fully prepared for the operation.
And I've been on my toes all morning.
When the forest closes its last rays of light, another story begins. In the dark, as the deer retreat deep into the night canopy, another species takes over that space. Wild boars. They follow no fixed trails. They leave behind no predictable pattern. They move through the dark, where only the earth, the wind, and the rhythm of the forest speak. Tracking deer requires patience and quiet listening. Meeting wild boars at night is a test of composure and cold judgment. Here, sight is no longer an advantage. Natural light has left the forest. Only sound, instinct, and faint thermal signals on the screen can be trusted. When the night fades, the forest returns to its natural rhythm. Tracks will blur with the morning mist, but what remains within us is the forest's quiet reminder: patience, understanding, and responsibility for this land. Hunting deer or wild boar is not a pursuit of trophies. It is a way to keep the balance between nature and humankind from tilting. The forest needs new generations of trees to rise. Crops must be protected. They cannot be lost overnight. And every species must exist within its limits, so the ecosystem can continue to move in its rightful orbit. Tomorrow, new footprints will appear at the forest's edge. The wind will change direction. The story will go on, just as it has long before we ever came. As for us, we are simply those who walk beside the forest's rhythm, not those who lead it. If you believe in balance and respect for nature, subscribe to Famigo Farm, share the video, and join us on the next journey.